Set in Cumbria, Britain, in a disintegrating house in a to a great extent rustic and hilly locale of northern Britain in the mid-20th 100 years, youthful creator Edith Cushing, Mia Wasikowska, falls head over heels and weds Sir Thomas Sharp, Tom Hiddleston. However, at that point finds that her enchanting new spouse isn't who he gives off an impression of being. His home harbors spooky, strange elements and privileged insights, which he and his sister, woman Lucille Sharp, Jessica Chastain, furiously attempt to stow away. Toward the beginning of the film, in the year 1887, a youthful Edith Cushing, the little girl of independent industrialist, Carter Cushing, Jim Beaver, is presented. Edith's mom passed on from dark cholera when she was a little kid, and Edith has a frightening experience with her mom's fretful soul. Wrapping her dim, rotting fingers around youthful Edith's shoulder as the young lady shivers in her bed attempting to will away her fear, the phantom murmurs an admonition, "Be careful with dark red pinnacle." After 14 years in 1901, when Edith is a young lady living in Bison, New York, she tries to expound on the phantoms she sees and experiences. However, it is suggested that her mom's is the most clear and most personal experience she has at any point hand. All things considered, she is constrained into expounding on sentiment as it is required from her orientation. Edith composes the story and it fizzles. However, it passes the eye of a meeting blueblood looking for financing for his very own development from Edith's dad. The blueblood is Sir Thomas Sharp of Allerdale Corridor, which is situated on a dig for red dirt ultisol that is utilized in block making and delivering for iron metal. Being careful about privileged, the New York respectable man, Carter, dismisses the Cumbria-conceived Sharp with outrageous abhorrence. Thomas turns his considerations to Edith and gains her friendship by acknowledging her as a talented essayist and narrator who doesn't simply compose phantom stories, yet rather composes stories that end up having phantoms. Enchanted by this idea, Edith starts a sentiment with Sir Thomas that is observed intently by her cherished companion, Dr. Alan McMichael, Charlie Hunnam. Bafflingly, Cushing is mercilessly killed in the men's room, his skull squashed in by a shadowy figure. Following his troublesome demise, Edith looks for comfort in her sentiment with Sir Thomas, who delicately and carefully tempts her into leaving New York for his own home in Britain to get away from the phantoms of her past. Recalling the ghastliness of being visited by her mom, Edith quickly conquers and heads out for Britain. McMichael is careful about this game plan and makes his own specific manner to Britain later. Once at Allerdale Lobby, a splendidly clad yet haggard house wavering on the red soil underneath it and disintegrating under the snow and downpour above, is uncovered to be the Sharp family home. Its informal name is Red Top because of the red dirt underneath it. However, this isn't referenced to Edith right away, so the admonition isn't regarded. There, woman Lucille Sharp, Thomas' more seasoned sister, who has proactively appeared to be cold and far off towards Edith regardless of her enchanting sibling's disposition and her clear warmth for her sibling, turns out to be considerably more savage and controlling of Edith in any event, preventing her a duplicate from getting the keys to the rooms of the actual house. Yet again Edith is visited by the soul of her mom, who again folds her fingers over Edith's shoulder and offers a similar admonition, "Be careful with red pinnacle." Edith becomes melancholy after visits by different apparitions start to frighten her, yet Lucille immovably demands that she stays. As Edith's requests about the houses and the family's backgrounds start to turn out to be more vocal, apparitions start to show up even more, alluring her to the mines underneath. Edith investigates the house and pieces signs together, finding that Thomas recently wedded 3 well-off ladies. In spite of an advance notice from her significant other, who is anticipating the fortune of the late Carter Cushing, who is uncovered to have been killed by Lucille, Edith wanders into the loft where the two kin were stayed by their harmful mother and to the delivering tanks underneath in the mines where she uncovers the rotting cadaver of Sir Thomas' last casualty. One of the phantoms baits Edith to a cloth storage room where she finds wax chambers on which one of Thomas' past spouses recorded a message telling that the Sharps are harming her for her legacy. Thomas and Lucille have been utilizing the legacy of ladies whose families lost their patriarch to subsidize Thomas' creative endeavors. It is uncovered that the kin planned both to kill the holder of the fortune in the event that Essential and the lady herself. It is likewise uncovered that Thomas has a forbidden relationship with his sister who enticed him very early on and that Lucille additionally plotted to free them and never be separated by killing their own mom who had found the kin's sexual relationship. Gone out to keep an eye on, the two gripped to their reviled environmental elements and started the plots of marriage and killing due to legitimate need. Sir Thomas has really experienced passionate feelings for Edith, nonetheless, and mightn't this time at any point force himself to carry out the thing. Crazy with envy and insatiability, Lucille loses her quiet disposition and turns into a wild executioner. McMichael shows up to return Edith to New York just to be cut and injured frightfully by a blade employing Lucille. Understanding that his significant other is in human peril, Thomas assists Edith with getting away from the house and is killed by Lucille simultaneously, passing on the better man he had consistently wished to be. Edith becomes maddened that the man she cherished was so tainted by Lucille and herself hits back with a similarly huge butcher blade. The two ladies fight each other strongly with Lucille causing extensive ridiculous harm, in any case being killed by Edith herself. Leaving the carcass of Lucille, Edith gets back to the house and safeguards McMichael. The two break to a close by city while the film uncovers the pictures of the Sharp kin's phantoms presently dwelling in the home. Lucille has turned into a phantom and keeps on playing the piano and appears to have her eyes loaded up with disdain while the once enchanting Sir Thomas is saturated with distress and disgrace. The last shot suggests that Edith has now composed a top-rated book about her encounters, which is suitably named Dark Red Pinnacle.